pick, I feel like we've seen this a time or two before, Cinderin. And don't worry, guys, that's not the game. That is the Dota2. There we go. We're back in the game. Sunsfan here with Cinderin. I had to look on my computer just to make sure. There's probably a Windows update needed or something to that effect, of course. Yeah, the Huskar last pick has worked out, it seems like every time. I don't know if it's actually true what the actual record is, but...
It's 5-5.
Okay, so that's...
But it's probably not been last pick every time out of those 10 games.
That's fair. I mean, a lot of them have been Falcons who have basically not lost.
Yeah, so probably every other team has lost. Because Falcons probably has like 5 wins on this.
Okay.
So...
Yeah, so how is this Huskar game?
That's good.
You do have percentage-based damage of the Phoenix with the Stun Ray. I assume Lifestealer does not go Radiance. Like, this has to be like a Desto-type game, I feel like.
I don't know. I might have to rethink my perspective on Lifesteal as a hero in general this patch, where maybe the Desto build just isn't a thing. Simply because of how much pacing you lose in terms of farming. Maybe you have to do this build in basically every game. We'll see if people deviate from it later down the line, but I don't think... Maybe this is the game that they do it. You're right, it could be. GPK will be playing Huskar against Pango. This is a good Huskar lane, obviously, and it's also a good Huskar game. One of the better heroes that you can have for killing Phoenix Egg. Huskar gets extremely high attack speed when he drops low on health. And the Inner Fire, an interesting tool against Tusk, actually. Little knockback and disarm. And the Lifestealer matchup is also kind of interesting when Huskar gets Aghanims, because then you have something that pierces the Rage and keeps Lifestealer in place to guarantee that you get off the Doom, for example.
Yep, true. And yeah, we do see the Doom yet again. It was a killer pick last game.
Yep.
And it still looks pretty good here. Against that Lifestealer again.
Yeah.
Well, not again for this series, but we have seen that interaction.
Yeah, so last game he was against the Morph, which I would say in the very early stages of the lane is harder than Lifestealer. This is an easy lane matchup for Doom to begin with, but it gets increasingly difficult as Lifestealer gets levels, like level 3, 4 is when this would start to swing, especially if Lifestealer gets early phase boots. But right in the beginning, Doom has a better time against Lifestealer because the attack damage difference is not nearly the same as it is against Morph. And later in the game, obviously, Dooming Lifestealer feels great. Just great. We love Doom. I think Doom is everyone's favorite hero.
I don't mind him.
I think this hero has been hated by a lot of people forever because they feel like it's so unfair that this guy presses one button on you and you can't do anything for 16 seconds. Which,
yeah, but remember when Bloodthorn used to mute items?
Oh, yeah.
You have Orchid. Wait, what was it? What was the... Wait, was it Bloodthorn that muted?
I just said, oh, yeah, instantly, but it was Nullifier.
It was Nullifier, yeah. you get Orchid and Nullifier, and then you have your own Doom.
Yeah. Well, that Doom you had to pay for a lot.
Yes.
And it was 5 seconds instead of 60.
Yeah, a little different.
Oh. Bit of damage onto Nightfall.
Yeah, inside the shards. Taking some tag team damage as Jabs pushes him out eventually with the Rebuke. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Sven this tournament, but Lifestealer has been a pretty good answer to the hero. Probably the best that we've seen, in fact.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's probably that or Void, one of the two, has had the biggest success against Sven. It's kind of hard to quantify who has been the better hero against it. Even if you look at win rates, there's too many variables in the relatively small sample size we've had.
Yeah, Void does require very late game type scenarios for that to truly turn in his favor. But then you can say that for about any hero. Void against literally anybody. As yeah, top 3 CS already in the game for BetBoom. Very early on, but kind of expecting that in the mid lane as GPK is starting to run away with it a bit. Impale onto Ollie. Ooh, nice timing on that hack. This should be first blood as Miero will get it with the Scorched Earth.
Dude, Save is so good this tournament so far. I feel like he just does well more or less every game. I think we've seen 1 or 2 games, perhaps, out of all of them. Just kidding. Save, what are you doing?
Yeah, he really stood his ground. It's like, we can take you. No, never mind.
Imagine, he's just played great for like 5 games in a row, and the one time I pointed out, he dies 2 seconds later. I have powers.
You do.
I really do. If only I could use them for good, but unfortunately, I can just make players die in a video game. Just...
Yeah, you have been choosing China to win every tournament for the past few years.
That is incorrect.
It's pretty true.
That's incorrect.
You've tapered off a bit recently because you know it hasn't worked out in your favor.
Well, by that logic, shouldn't the other teams start winning then?
That's true. We'll see. Still a bit to go in this DreamLeague season.
Have you seen GPK play Huskar before?
No. I don't think so.
To me, this is really not a GPK hero. But
oh, he's going to get ganked
take it for a spin this game.
Yep, gets off a nice disarm here. Dota2 coming in with the Frostbite, but GPK dies first to the swash. So good rotation from Aurora. And he kind of just gets stuck inside those shards. He can pop the inner fire, but it's just not long enough duration right now to survive. And I feel like in these Huskar games where they take over, they don't die this early on. As they're trying to go on top of 23 Savage. Against pop the Fairy Fire to survive and save. Will die instead. Tag team continuing to be applied from Q, who's had a really good game so far. Sunray, great blocks from Q as well. 23 Savage. They're trying to give the kill to him, and they will end up netting it. So extremely good rotation from Q, finding kills in 2 lanes.
In the meantime, GPK gets an immediate counter kill in mid. So back in complete control.
Yeah, 32 and 16 to 14 and 3. Not bad. Not too shabby at all. As, oh, the Q, he's not done with his reign of terror. Ollie coming in with the Sunray as well. Inner fires there, Toronto, Tokyo. He might be the sacrifice. Ends up tanking a bit of those spells for GPK. Yeah, now with those level 3 burning spears, I mean, as a Pango, what do? Do you just have to partial jungle?
Yeah.
Just wait for the creeps to enter your side of the river?
I mean, either that or you keep doing what you've been doing so far, right? Which is calling supports to you and putting the pressure. Because GPK is still vulnerable until the armlet comes out, at which point I think it's just not possible anymore to kill him. And that's in 100 gold, so we can start planning plan B. I mean, Laranov's game is honestly quite good for the matchup, I think. He's 18 and 3, which is obviously a terrible CS scoreline usually, but he has 2 kills. He's now farming a double stack of jungle. He's level 6. Like other games we've seen, the Huskar mid, the Pango at this point would probably be level 4.5 or maybe 5.
Yeah, that is true.
So they've done a good job bringing Laranov into the game, and he needs to pay it back, because obviously when you're rotating your supports this much, it will cost elsewhere. I say that, but Lifestealer and Mars are fine. So maybe not. Maybe it's all okay, and you've already stabilized your mid lane very well. He is bottom of the cores in net worth, but tying with the Doom essentially, and this is, as we mentioned, a very bad mid matchup, so a good result.
All right, I have a mechanics question for you.
Oh, no.
Maybe
this is not good.
Maybe it comes into play later, as we might have to hold that thought save. Maybe trying to guard this 8-minute power rune. Toronto Tokyo's here as well. And it will be bottom. It's a shield rune, which very good pickup for Lornoff. Mero getting forced out a bit. Okay, so can you get stunned while life breaking? I can't remember if they changed this or not.
You cannot.
You used to not be able to. They haven't changed that.
Yeah.
So if you get the Ags, it actually is a pseudo counter to Rolling Thunder then, right?
Yes, you should always connect on the Pango, if that's what you mean.
What do you mean by connect on the Pango?
Even if he's in the roll, you still hit.
Yeah.
And since he's taunted, he can't turn direction, I think.
He can't do anything.
Yeah. So you'll force him to continue rolling the way that he is, but because he can't attack you, he'll still roll.
Nice Impale from Save as TP support's coming for Miero as GPK showing off his life break, but the Infest is going to keep his teammate alive, and GPK is the one to fall instead as the Rolling Thunder continuing to be used to Toronto Tokyo's demise. A great turnaround there from Aurora. Great aggression, I should say, is another Impale coming out, but 2 deaths already for the Huskar Cinderin. Maybe not a Huskar player after all.
I mean, he is... For me, this mid lane is now a loss for Huskar. A significant one, even. Because when we talk about winning and losing a lane, it's not... Okay, that's a dead lifestealer.
I mean, we weren't talking about the lifestealer here, no. But still.
Didn't curse that funny. One. That's not on me. Not this time.
And they're going to get Ollie potentially. Gets off the dive. Will survive.
I was about to say he's going to be fine, but I don't trust myself anymore.
Yeah, understandable.
He was fine. Okay, so when we talk about winning or losing a lane, it isn't necessarily about the net worth at any given point or levels. It's about what is the expectancy and what's the actual outcome. If Huskar is ahead by like 200 against Pango, it's a mega lost lane. He's behind now.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this didn't all happen in the mid lane. A big part of it was the ganks, but this top fight is what really pushed it over the edge. BetBoom are not in a good position this game. Huskar, as a hero, needs to play from ahead and do well and snowball to a decent degree in a game like this, or he could just become a complete liability. You're playing into Sunray, which is annoying. You're playing into the Lifestealer, who can, one of the carries that can truly stand his ground against you. Save will be dead here.
Yep, first arena coming out from Jabs. And they have the siege still as well, so considerable amount of damage should be applied to this.
And I can't help but feel like a part of this pick for BetBoom is an investment in the rest of the tournament, where they want to scare other teams and remind them we can also play Huskar. But if they're watching right now, they're probably not that scared currently.
Yeah.
So the tactic
has backfired for sure.
For now, at least, I'm not convinced. It's also the little things.
I think it's backfired regardless, though, because the laning stage is so important. Even if they end up winning this game, I think
that's fair.
That entire strategy's gone through the window.
But the thing that's tricky is it's hard for me to pinpoint exactly what it is that GPK is not doing as well as someone like Malrine. But there is a difference, and it's pretty clear. Isn't that funny that you can't really tell what it is, but you can just tell that it really is there?
Yeah. Oh boy.
But this is a real specialist hero.
Swash into Rolling Thunder, and he's stuck inside the shards. Actually gets pushed to the other side. See if that ends up benefiting him. Inner Fire's there as well, but Q comes in with a Walrus Punch, and that's the death of GPK. Nightfall making his TP rotation. They get the egg. They might be able to clean up the Tusk as well, and they do.
Good punish.
Huskar's game is rough stuff right now. I have another mechanics question. Is Jabs seems to be reserving these arenas for save. As Aurora looking pretty good early on.
They're looking very good this game.
What do you? How does Armlet work against Doom? Because we had this discussion off camera about how Morphling attribute shift kind of doesn't make sense, that you can't, because it's not healing, you're adding stats in some respects, and then, but Lifestealer Infest does work, right? Against that.
I'm pretty positive that, so the old Doom, it just sucked getting doomed while you had Armlet running because you couldn't toggle it.
Yeah.
Now you can use items while doomed. I think you just, okay, hang on.
Nightfall, trying to go through the gate. Do they have a stun? No! Ooh.
He's still burning. He's fine. So, when it comes to the Huskar, or sorry, the Armlet against Doom discussion, I think if you're armleted when you get doomed, you can just toggle it off, and then obviously it's just working like normal armlet. And if you toggle it on again,
yes,
I want to say that you don't gain health? Question mark?
It's a 50-50.
This is actually a really weird one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, like you said, you would think it kind of works like it does with attribute shift.
Yeah, my assumption is that it will not work.
Yeah, I think your max health goes up, but your current health doesn't when you toggle it on.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
But Infest works, of course.
Infest is
not
different.
If you're doomed, but against the Doom.
Yeah, Infest is different because that just puts max health on top of you. And current health.
Jabs infested, has the blink. No one's really up here though. So will likely end up being a wasted rotation. GPK has the Sange and going for Halberd now.
I don't know if I like this Halberd here. I don't think it does much.
Oh, Miero, they do spot him. Arena, Spear. No rotation coming out, so should be a freebie for 23. Although Ollie takes it.
A 23B, if you will.
Oh yeah, the classic Toronto-Tokyo freezing field on creeps. And we'll back away. This time he doesn't die though, Synderen. That was
so not a classic then.
Right?
The classic Toronto-Tokyo freezing field is doing it with 5% health and dying to 1 attack.
That's right.
Saw that 2 or 3 times yesterday, which was very amusing for everyone involved, except Toronto-Tokyo.
No, he was laughing too though, so actually I think that's not...
Amusing to everyone.
Yes.
Went for the Midas triple belt of strength.
Belch of strength?
What?
I just...
Did you hear belch of strength?
Yeah.
Yeah, you truly have brain rot, and you don't even stream that much. So it's not Twitch chat's fault for once.
Yeah, it's genetic, I think.
That's unfortunate.
Aurora with the 2K lead. And the question is how impactful, and we haven't really seen this, you and I at least firsthand, how impactful is a Huskar that doesn't completely dominate? We'll see.
I think his win rate is the perfect illustration of that. It's 5-5. 5 games are probably where he's snowballing. The other 5 are...
Off, gets caught off guard. God strength. Oh, he's able to get the squash off, but the finger is still not enough. That's a shield rune?
No.
My goodness.
Save pump fake the finger 7 times. I told you he's doing so well this tournament, and everything goes to shit.
Oh.
They could have killed him 100 times over here. 1, 2, 3. If he attacked him, he would have died.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, no.
My goodness.
Oh, that hurts to watch.
Is there any there's no reaction? Really?
Larnoff is pure business.
Getting snowballed on. Well, Walrus punch to cancel here, and Q is the one surrounded and will be brought down.
I totally get why Save didn't want to use Finger there, by the way. It felt like it was going to be a waste. But it's one of those things, damn it if you do, damn it if you don't. Because if you Finger that kill, you probably feel like, ah, man, I didn't have to do that.
Yeah, but you get a stack, so you always feel a little bit good.
Yeah, I mean, the stacks are nice, but at the same time, from BetBoom's perspective, they would really like to reserve it for a follow-up kill, right? If they kill the Pango there without using Finger, they can maybe go for a smoke move and get another pick that's really impactful. Yeah. So I really get it. Like, the cooldown on Finger is long, and I think people vastly overestimate the impact of getting stacks on this spell. People love talking about it because infinite stacking is fun, and it feels great to, you know, progress your hero in a different way than just items. But in reality, if you look at the numbers, it's like, it's not that big of a deal to get plus 40 damage on this one time.
It's not just damage, it's HP with the talent, Synderen, all right?
Eventually, I get it. I mean, it's good, but people love to talk about it more than it deserves. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we talk about a lot of things that don't deserve to come to the light of day. That's actually most of the casting, in fact, I would argue.
Say something important.
Yeah, I'm at a loss.
Yeah. There you go.
Right. Back to the shit casting. Nightfall versus the Lifestealer. Will Sven overcome the Lifestealer this time? Will it happen? Does feel like Lifestealer has had...
And most importantly, will it blend?
Will it blend?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You probably don't know that. You only watch movies. It's fine.
Okay.
It's a very important reference to one of the best YouTube series of all time from over a decade ago.
Red versus Blue?
No, Will It Blend? That's literally what it was called.
Actually,
it was a guy who put stuff in a blender to see if it would blend.
Yeah.
And it got increasingly absurd over time. It's kind of been replaced by the hydraulic press as of the last years.
That is true.
That is the new Will It Blend. But even that fad is fading, so we need the new thing. What would that be?
I don't know. What can you ingest? That was the Tide challenge, I guess.
Will it poison you?
Yeah.
That's gonna fly well. Surely. Will you die?
Yeah, that's the penultimate version, I guess.
Amazing.
That's where the coup de grace occurs, as we have a rotation now from Aurora. Is this going to be a smoke potential save? That's the vision.
Pump faking spells again. This time he casts it, though.
Yeah, Impale into Hex, as Nightfall has BKB now. If he wants to fight. 23 Savage. He did opt for the Radiance again, so pretty much the same build. We can talk about that in just a moment, but first, BetBoom Smoke, they scan. They have a second chance at Lornoff. He's already used his Swash, but yeah, they're not going to be able to connect, it looks like, Miero. Does have the blink, though. Tier 1 tower, still very healthy in the mid lane, but not for long. Used to that going down pretty early for the Huskar.
Yeah.
You dominate the lane so much, there's no hero to even defend.
Very true. Another illustration of a failed execution there.
We have the blink initiation from Miero. Doom onto the Mars. He really wanted that haste rune, but
this time I was gonna say he's gonna finger him right. It's not.
Yeah.
Not fooling around anymore on save. And that will be his blink. And 20 gold.
So yeah, what do you think of the Radiance? So it will be the SNY after the fact, which against Doom makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, SNY into Lincolns by the looks of it. I think it's...
Okay.
I don't know if you get both. Is that good? Like, don't you kind of pick your poison? Either I get the short Doom or I try to Lincolns break it. I guess maybe you also want the Lincolns against the Huskar eventually, against the Ags that you're probably anticipating will come out, so maybe it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's definitely.
But yeah, like I was saying, I feel like we're just going to be seeing this Armlet Radiance every game for efficiency reasons. And of course, it's also, like, we're talking about it a decent amount as a farming item, but it is of course really impactful in fights to have the blind against these two physical heroes in the Huskar and the Sven, to have the evasion for yourself. It's nice, you know, it's a real feels-good item on this hero, and the Deso is quite all in. If anyone's confused, I believe those odds are for the series win, if I had to guess.
Most likely. Well, 23 now has the Aegis. And Aurora looking to get aggro with that BKB now on Jabs. And Lornoff with his Aghanim Scepter as well. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. I mean, the Radiance, like the mischance against the Husk are very prevalent, considering it's not a hero that will ever buy MKB. But damage over time against them, not so hot. But I guess just for farm, you're gonna be farming at a much faster speed as a result of it. So I guess it does make sense. As Nightfall halfway to his Ag, so Superman will soon be a thing. And that's one thing about the Superman build that is better than it used to be, is the fact that you can cast it on magic immune targets.
Yep.
Meaning you can travel to BKB targets, which you could not before.
Yep.
So the Lifestealer being the one there.
That is a very important difference in this carry-to-carry matchup, because sometimes you do want to connect on the Lifestealer while he's raged, and if you cast it when rage is about to end, obviously some of the stun duration can carry over. So, yeah, see if it comes into play here. GPK will be finishing BKB first by the looks of it before he goes for the Ags. Probably feels like he needs it against a lot of problems he has this game, against the Phoenix, against the Mars, the Pango. Tons of lockdown, tons of random residual damage that he can now negate a big portion of. And as far as, like, considering how well this early game went for Aurora, they crushed the Huskar in a lane that he should have done very well in, but with rotations, they really stabilized Pango's game. We've got to this kind of standard mid-game situations Aurora find themselves in a lot, where not too much is happening. So now the question is that kind of a curse, given that you shut down the Huskar as well as you did? Is this where other teams would be able to take more advantage? Whereas this playstyle would have fit better in a game where Huskar did as well as expected. It's hard to tell. They will get the tier 2, but they are letting BetBoom farm quite a lot. And Huskar, who had... His net worth is still not pretty there, but he's starting to get some key items that perhaps you could have shut him out of a little bit harder.
Yeah, it does feel like a lot of the heavy lifting will come from Nightfall and Nero.
The Doom onto Lifestealer will negate so much net worth. Not concerned with it as long as he has Aegis, but won't have it forever. Another 2 minutes left.
And it looks like after the pickup of SNY will be the Lincolns, like you said, but then after that, it'll be the Ags so far for the Lifestealer, which honestly has not worked out, even though I love the idea of it. The disarm against, well, even Huskar, but mainly the Sven can definitely turn the tide.
Yeah, PSG was talking about this, where he said Yatoro learned to not buy the Ags, but go BKB in this carry-to-carry matchup.
Yeah.
I wonder how much it swings the dynamic that there's a Doom. Because even if you pop the BKB and you can stand your ground against the Sven, if you get doomed, you're still losing the fight because you're not healing, right? So maybe there's something there about the Ags winning a little ground. Man, look at this positioning. BetBoom's super defensive, just waiting around mid. Not farming anything currently. GPK and Nightfall will show and clean up that wave.
Just waiting out the Aegis, essentially. Less than a minute now. Or close to a minute. And if they can get this Doom onto the 23 before his Lincolns comes through. Of course, they will have a decent amount of Lincoln's blockers with the Halberd from GPK. And again, like we said, can be cast through the BKB these days, so it's a lot easier to deal with a Lincoln's Lifestealer. But I feel like a lot of it's just going to come down to the jump itself, as it does quite often.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Aurora not really pushing the envelope with this Aegis. Do you think that's a mistake, or do you think that's the right move? Because this just buys time for BetBoom to get some of these power spike type items.
I think they could have got another tier 2. I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't put more emphasis on the mid play. Like, realistically speaking, how does your Lifestealer die aside from getting doomed? I don't know if they could have killed him twice. If there's a Sunray behind, if there's a Tusk save, there's a Mars Arena covering you, I think you could have definitely grabbed yourself a bit more of the map than just what you did. But it's what's been happening in a lot of Aurora's games, is that they don't really push the advantage as much as they can, because they're, I think, hesitant about the counterplays. This would be a dead Toronto Tokyo, more than likely.
Jabs on the high ground. He's infested. Initiation from Jabs. BKB's galore. Toronto Tokyo gets a nice freezing field off, but ends up falling first. Now the focus right now is on the Lifestealer. 23 Savage gets bursted. And now Jabs left all alone as the Superman coming to finish the job. 3 for 1 for BetBoom.
And the fight breaks out with Aegis down, and Lifestealer will get absolutely tunnel visioned here by the cores of BetBoom. Doom into Huskar jump, into Sven jump, finger. They do not mess around. That finger was not necessary, let me tell you that, but...
Yeah, he learned his lesson.
Yeah.
All right, so a good fight for BetBoom, waiting out that Aegis as Toronto Tokyo. Yeah, easy game here, guys. But once that Lincoln's is online for 23, how much does that change? We'll see.
Yeah, it depends what creep Doom has, right? Currently he's rocking the War Stomp, but he could just replace it for a Lincoln's Breaker. Still a bit of a way to go for him, though. I think about 1,500 gold is needed for the Lifestealer to complete that item.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, I think...
Do you know where that taunt is from?
Which one? The circle?
The Lifestealer one? Is it just a breakdance?
Yeah, it's just a breakdance.
This isn't like a specific reference to something.
Okay, so the person you're asking wouldn't know the reference if it was one.
It could easily be from some obscure movie you've watched.
It's not from an obscure
movie. A lot
movie.
of the taunts in this game are either from some sort of play or movie or music.
Right, okay, so no movie that I know of and no NBA game that I know of that they've done that.
Yeah, there's a lot of taunts that reference NBA games.
I mean, Lich, he has basketball.
That doesn't necessarily make it an NBA game.
Oracle dunks, that's an NBA game.
It's just basketball.
NBA.
That's all basketball in the world.
No, it's specifically NBA.
Right.
Because Lich and Oracle are considered the best of the best in their lore.
Oh yeah, they're really
important.
popular this tournament.
And the NBA
best of the truly the best of the best picks. Lich is unpicked all tournament. Oracle maybe one game. Guess they got dunked on.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Makes sense.
It's because they're waiting for TI. You see, the regular season not so important, Cinderin. Once you get to the TI range, to the Riyadh Masters types.
You know, it makes a lot of sense. That's also why Shaker always comes around at TI.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all
He's
the
a
dunkers.
player.
Yep, the dunkers are out for
and
TI.
Axe, of course.
Yeah.
You know?
Historically not a particularly big pick at TI, but I'll give it to you because it fits the narrative.
Yep, Seb. Yep, that's right.
Yep, Seb comes out at TI. Big time baller.
That's right. So
is that a finished Axe for GPK now?
I mean, they've
That's
waited.
a big item.
Yeah, it's been.
Yep.
They haven't. I mean, they took one little fight there after the Aegis, and other than that, they've just been farming. Aurora's let them do whatever they want, basically.
It's a very even game on the gold.
Yeah,
Everybody.
why are Aurora so passive in general? Like,
I think there's a
the
decent.
BSJ was talking about like Jab's last game, 2:03 at half an hour in the game, right?
It might be a big part of the reason that they're losing as many games as they are is that they struggle to identify in the games what position they're in, and they are worried about making game-losing mistakes, so they're playing not to lose too much. That's honestly the best explanation I can give. And I'm not going to say in this game it was blatantly obvious that they could have done this or that. We have access to information that the players don't. They don't see the net worth graph. They don't see the wards.
Yeah.
But
I see a connection.
it's definitely a pattern though in their games.
Smoke will break. Miero has a shield rune.
That looks so awkward. Mars just walks up with his shield in front. His smoke breaks and he backs out like the Homer Simpson into the bushes meme. You know.
That's a little surprising. I mean, obviously they don't want to fight into this Aegis necessarily, and especially if Aurora is going to use the Aegis the same way they did the last one, where they didn't take any fights.
Aegis is the item of the game for them. They have to use this for something. It's clear that...
Yeah, I think they will this time.
The way BetBoom approach fights is dooming the lifestealer and just snowballing from there. If they can't do that, it's pretty huge. So you really should be taking advantage of it for more. It's easier said than done, though. You need to push out your waves and try to find a fight somewhere. But I think the best way to go about it is invading where Sven is most likely to be and just committing. You have the Tusk blink, so even if Sven pops BKB, you can punch him, and then you can shard him in. And maybe that will be enough to kill him off for the lifestealer. Doesn't need too long to kill that guy.
Yeah, I wonder if this game is going to go late enough for Q to get an Aghanim Scepter, because that is an old school. I mean, it's not even that old school, but the hero I think of the most being countered by Walrus Kick is Sven.
Yeah, we saw it earlier this tournament, as a matter of fact.
It's so good. I mean, we're not seeing that much Tusk, but I do feel like this item... I mean, Crit does buy it from time to time.
Yep. He did exactly that against Duracio's Sven.
Oh, he is actually going for the Axe.
Curb kicked him.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, that is one of the best Axe in the game, easily. Yeah. Just absurdly good. As a, oh, interesting. Sheep comes online for jabs. Typically, we don't see that until a little bit later on the Mars.
You know what the real next level play is on the on the Tusk this game with Axe? When one of your cores get jumped by Huskar and he taunts them, you kick Huskar toward your base so that you pull your hero back to a safer position. It's kind of like force-staffing you backwards.
Is there no distance threshold that breaks?
No, I don't think so. I think the taunt is just... I mean, you would never be able to TP out, so you wouldn't be able to check that. I think even if you get max level Venge swapped when you're taunted by Huskar, the taunt still completes.
So swap into Walrus Kick.
Yeah, and then they just both walk.
Fountain. Then you couple that with all the fears in the game, like the Bear, Terror Wave, and then Rupture is the coup de grace. So you have to have Rupture on top of all of that.
How many heroes do you have now?
Yeah,
7
like
in your team?
12 or 13.
Oh, that's quite good.
It's a really good combination.
I think playing 7v5 is generally quite good. Except if you're a BetBoom and pick Meepo, then it's not so great.
That was the worst Meepo game.
They also had the best. They are the only team to win with the hero this tournament. But in that game, they had Chen, so it's basically like playing with cheats.
That's true. Yeah, it just was not didn't feel like a Meepo game to begin with. Nobody understood. Everybody's like, am I dumb? Is there something we're not seeing? No, it was bad. That's Q. He will be the Infest Bomb now. Oh, they're going to get scanned, though. So BetBoom are aware. Again, the question is, will the Aegis be used in any meaningful way for Aurora? It's only a minute and a half left, Cinder. They haven't done anything. This is so weird. No wonder the games go so late.
They're going to take the tier 2 and the Wisdom Rune here at the very least at 35.
Okay.
So gaining some ground with it. Unless they fancy high grounding, but I honestly feel like that's probably too dangerous now.
The fact that there's 2 tier 2s up with the second Aegis is actually so weird in this patch.
Well, maybe they do go high. They've got a minute. Maybe it's enough.
All right, they're poking. They're poking. Satanic now there for Nightfall. Invis on Miero. Oh, this could be very scary for 23. Of course, like we keep talking about, has the Aegis, so see if BetBoom want to wait for that to get a little bit lower. As the inner fire does not hit onto 23 Savage, so he will just continue to get this tower. Linken's his pop. He's going to pop the Rage now. And was thinking about going in, but instead will back away and now has his Aghanim Scepter. So that thing does a lot. It can infest enemy heroes. It does damage to them based on your auto attacks. I think there's 3, I want to say 3 hits, or maybe it's 4. Tough to remember that one. Cast range gets increased, cooldown decreased, unless that changed, I can't remember. And it disarms. It does literally everything. Just 20 mechanics all in one.
This is the sign of an Ags that was introduced and they were like, this is cool, and it was so bad that they had to give it 4 additional functionalities to be situational.
And I just wish, I know we've talked about it already, I wish that they would, by the way, the Aegis is gone, so they do get the tier 3 tower, but that's it.
Yeah, that's something.
I do wish that they get rid of the disarm and just focus more on the damage aspect, because it's just cooler. Like, I know that this hero sometimes used to buy Halberd. Not that much anymore, though. This is a damage dealer.
I feel like there was a version of this that dealt more damage, wasn't there? I want to say that it used to do what you're saying to an extent.
It wasn't good enough, though, if that's the case. Yeah, it's tough to remember. Save. Okay, the opener onto Ollie. Eon Disc gets procced, and Nightfall deletes him. And 23 Savage going in. Will infest jabs.
That was stupidly close to the Doom going out, but the Ogre Seal Totem seals or saves the day.
Wow, that would have been, yeah, it really seals
the Ogre the Ogre Save Totem seals the deal.
And you see the Nightfall Shard coming into play as well. Or no, that's not the Shard, that's the Ags now, right? That dispels? Or is that the Talent? God, it's so hard to remember these things.
Wait, what are you saying?
It dispelled... yeah,
that's the Ag Storm.
Yeah, the Ags. The fact that that used to be the Shard, now it's combined into Superman.
It even used to be a talent, like you said.
Okay.
The Stormhammer Dispels used to be a 20 talent.
So just giving a history lesson, of course. And also prophecy for a lot of people watching in the future. A little foreshadowing. You guys will remember 20 mechanics and then combine them in your future casts. All the commentators out there. Nightfall getting close to 25 here. I keep seeing the same 25 talent from these Svens, which is the God Strength variation. Don't go for the Stormhammer stun, Cinderin.
I won't. If I ever reach 25 again.
The haste rune being used as kind of a bait. Toronto, Tokyo. We'll spot Lauren off, who blinks away. Now he has Linken's. And the Infest bomb is coming. Ooh, Arcane Rune. Lorenoff's going to be very happy with these two.
And they're going to run straight into each other here?
Yes. Inner fire to start. Q's going to pop the BKB. GPK has to try to run now as the egg is placed. 23 Savage focusing on the Huskar. The Doom comes out, though, and it is on the Lifestealer. Lifestealer at half HP. The finger is there. That should be the death of him. So it's a 1-for-1 to start as Nightfall is starting to clean up. Q takes a tumble, but save is taken out by Lornoff, taking advantage of that arcane rune, but now he's going to get Infernal Bladed. Swash will burn the rest of Miro's mana. Now Nightfall not able to find a connection here.
Boy, that was close. They did a really good job shutting down the Huskar, so he didn't get to hit the egg. If that egg does not explode from Ollie... Oh, okay.
Okay, Stormhammer.
A bit crazy.
Wants to go in this 1v3, but Miero coming in to focus on Ollie. Toronto Tokyo's there as well. It's off the Frostbite, but the Yules will keep Ollie safe. Another Frostbite to come. Jabs. Rebuke on the run.
The timing on that Rebuke plus Seal Totem made it look like the longest
Swash with
Rebuke
the bash.
ever.
Toronto Tokyo does fall.
Okay.
Dire's bottom tower.
Yeah, it just feels inevitable that the Lifestealer's gonna get doomed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's gonna happen at some point.
But they still did fine in the fight, regardless, because they shut down the Huskar so hard. If that Supernova doesn't go off, I think Aurora lose a really big fight there, probably plus some real estate, but now they ended up kind of trading evenly, or even favorable in the end by getting the Huskar +2. Only losing the Lifestealer there, and I believe the Tusk died as well. But this is what is kind of going to happen in this game, right? You need someone to just go in for Aurora. You need the vision so that you can get off your initiation with the Mars.
Q spotted, hexed, Nightfall, Superman. Oh, but the
Nice
Yules. Q gets off his BKB. Miero is there. Gets punched in the air, and now the Infest to give Q some move speed and HP. Lornoff even using his ult to keep the enemies at bay. So no kill comes from BetBoom's side, and God Strength is used. Let's see if Aurora wants to try and take advantage of this with some sort of smoke play. Doesn't look like that is going to be the case, as there is the Walrus kick.
Oh, baby.
That is going to be quite impactful if used properly.
If you could use this ability on anyone in real life, who would it be? Come on.
Q leading the way.
Actual answer?
Jenkins, probably.
Oh, that makes more sense. Probably. What if we could just stand on across the street and we could just kick him from side to side? We both have Walrus kick.
Oh, that sounds great.
You'd probably
on
like
all
it,
10. Roche number 3 is up,
Radiant's middle tower is
which
under
means
attack.
Refresher Shard in the pit. 23. He's starting it out, Miero.
Radiant's
Smoke will
top
pop, they
barracks
know.
are under attack. Radiant structures are
Instantly
fortified.
falling back with the Trickster Cloak, so... Information acquired, but what are they going to do with it?
Top lane, there's quite a bit of creeps
wait, did
here.
they actually think they weren't doing it? Or...
I think they're backing
They
away
have to-
because they have creeps in the base potentially.
Wow, they have to give up. The map control is too important.
Another Roche for Aurora. Will this one turn into barracks?
This feels like a pretty big blunder on the side of BetBoom, to be honest. This top lane needed to have been taken care of so they could access the Roche fight. But credit to 23, I think that was an illusion rune he used to push out that top wave that far. That pays off big time. If Nightfall doesn't go back, he loses the top melee. That's quite a big difference.
Banner already placed.
Down here.
These pro players have. Maybe that was used in the top lane earlier, and that's why they were able to push it in. But they used the second banner right away without any throwing all caution to the wind, Cinderin.
Yep.
Now Satanic for GPK, as both he and Nightfall actually go for the Aviana's Feather, so evasion / terrain walk.
Yeah, insane against Lifestealer, obviously. When you get low, if you can cross some sort of cliff, he can't chase you.
Great against ice shards as well.
True.
Great for the egg, of course. And
True.
Radiant's
go
middle
right
tower
through the egg.
Cross the egg, yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
are scanning.
23 is going to get the tier 2 mid. As
Radiant's
Q
middle tower
trying to
has
find
fallen.
save. Oh! Very close. But it's not to be. All right. So attempt number, well, I was going to say attempt number 3. It's Roche number 3. Aegis number 3. Attempt number 2, I guess. onto the base. Although the last attempt was very casual, I would say. Bit of poke that ended up being the tier 3.
23 now also gets leveled 25, so a new talent unlocked.
They pop Lincolns. There's the life break with the Agnum Scepter. So the taunt onto 23 Savage. The counteracting Rolling Thunder coming in from Lorinoff, though. Not any follow-up, however. He should be able to get out, although we didn't get to see the life break interaction there, Sinner. He could have tried for it, actually. But then again, there is a Lincolns on Lorinoff as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so nothing really achieved here. Aurora sitting on a 5K lead at the current point in time.
They forced God Strength. I think this is a really good time to just
I didn't even realize
go again, you know?
Right.
God Strength is expiring. Don't let BetBoom recover from this. You have 45 seconds of complete power play.
Crystal Clone will be raged off. 23 Savage gonna get the range. Open wounds now on the creep.
They should really finish it off here. Yeah, he's going. I like this. Teammates are not even remotely... okay, wrong word. Teammates aren't too close, but doesn't matter.
Yeah,
BetBoom cannot fight without God Strength. So, go for the next one. He's getting to work.
23. Lincoln's was popped. There's the rage. Miero going in very deep, but he gets hexed right away. Arena to follow. He's stuck. He's getting right-click down, and he is dead. Save looks to be next.
Big
no
mistake.
Buyback for Miero, and this is going to open things up for Aurora in the base of BetBoom.
Miero didn't pre-click his BKB before blinking. That's Blink 101 in this stage of the game against Hex.
23 Savage. Trying to keep the pressure on, but wants to go when the rage is at least close to being off cooldown. Obviously with that Aegis still intact. Another minute and a half. They should be able to get this second Rax unless BetBoom want to fight without their Doom. Impale into the inner fire again. We'll have to wait out the disarm. As Jabs. I have the double arena here pretty soon, but Nightfall wants to fight. He's going to get bashed though after the fact. Trying to finish off this hero, but GPK pops the BKB inside the arena, but Nightfall is the one that gets bursted. 100 seconds of no Sven, and the permastuns applied to GPK. GG's called. This is going to game number 3.
Another BKB.